Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday night, and you are with me, Cortney Kane Sides, medium, psychic medium, and my dear friend and special guest. You guys know him very well. He is my brother here on the Forbidden Knowledge Network, Roderick Martin. I'm so happy you're with me, my friend.
I'm happy. We all are happy. And yes, this is my sis
Yeah.
over here. There we go. On this side. And we're at the Forbidden Knowledge crew. And I'm glad to be here. And let's chop it up.
Let's do it. And actually, I'm already, listen, let me tell you guys, in my, and you're going to lose me for a second. Here we go. Here we are. On when we connect, when we come together in this might sound crazy for some of you, but in the spiritual world, all of us being here and coming together in this moment, it does sometimes take up a lot of electricity. So I want to ask you real quick, Roderick, what I'm about to say has nothing really to do with our topic tonight. But do you find sometimes when there's high levels of conversation, high like consciousness conversations happening, do you find that you've got electrical issues?
Yes, we do. And then we also have bad energy in our chat. So let me kind of boot this one out.
Oh, good. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
we're going to block Mr. English there for his little statement.
Mm-hmm.
Activity saying you didn't see it, but it wasn't good.
Oh, good. Well, I appreciate that. You can ignore it forever. Then, thank you, my friend. What's really cool about this network, and I'm pretty sure Roderick, you agree with me, is that with Forbidden Knowledge, we are bringing so many different like-minded individuals, but with different aspects, different opinions, different understandings, different experiences, and expertise together. And something that I'm loving doing here is bringing you on, Elizabeth on,
Mhm.
even Billy, coming on and having that connection with us, and having that live unscripted conversation. And so again, I so appreciate you being here. I've got my hat on for
A baseball hat. Yep.
Mr. Roderick. I am a baseball cap girl, is what I always like to say it. But Roderick made sure to tell me that, hello, his is part of his branding. And so I'm trying to tell him that this girl needs one of his hats now. So I'll wear yours one of these days.
I'm going to send you one. Well, in fact, we're going to see each other in a couple of weeks anyway.
Yes, we
We're
are.
about having it that way. How about that?
We're going to see each other in February. I'm super excited. Or I'm sorry,
March.
It is February. So it's going to be in a few weeks. So we'll see you. Tonight, we are having the amazing conversation of government, this satellite balloon stuff that's going on. Is it UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call it? And, your topic, your podcast, why the big secret? So I wanted to bring you on for us to kind of even share more of that conversation. I know you've been having a lot of that this week, the last few weeks, right?
It never gets old. I can tell you that much. It never gets old.
It really doesn't. So what are you feeling about kind of the current topic? I mean, I'm feeling, there was a meme the other day that I saw. It said, I used to believe in UFOs, but now that the government is telling me that there's UFOs, I kind of want to be stubborn and say, nope, I don't believe it. How do you feel about that?
You know what? That probably was a great meme because Courtney, I was talking to some of my audience a while back, and I said, and someone asked me a similar question about how we should look at things. And I said, for the last 70 years, the government and us, ufologists and people that's in ufology, we've been telling people, don't believe the government, don't believe them, don't believe for 70 years. And then all of a sudden, they want to come out and start telling the truth. And then people's like, nah, we don't believe them. So I think it was a setup. The big secret keepers, that's what we call them, they're always one step ahead. And the new plan now is to go right against everything that we done put out there. And now they can slip little stuff out and say, I told you so. But now the masses is like, well, we don't believe them now. So it's a little crazy. It's our fault.
I agree with you about that too, and I think that I actually feel that way. I mean, I think that, and we had a really great conversation, you, me, and Mr. Church at his house around the coffee.
New Year's Eve. Yep.
Yeah, we did that morning after, and we were talking about there being a possible fake, sighting or massive, interaction. And
Yep.
We literally stated that. And so, you know, of course, I believe that there are UFOs, aliens, all of that. But I do think that it's what's happening now in the skies is not technically what we are talking about when we say that, you know, they've been making contact or people are having their own experiences through the last, you know, millions of years, I guess, really hundreds of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's times have changed. I think that people should begin to understand that there is a shift. There is something happening, and as you almost alluded to, there's been a lot of talk that Dr. Stephen Greer has been putting out there that there could be some type of um, you know uh, fake invasion that they want to put together. And I think at the end of the day, it's pretty much people felt that with these balloons, the balloon, it was only one balloon, y'all. That and then with the other objects, that this was a rollout to test the sentiment of the people. And that's all conspiracy, though, when it comes down to that. But at the end of the day, uh, judging by the reactions, though, that people got, we're not ready, or the masses is not ready for the what I call the disclosure that everyone is looking for.
Well, and we're seeing so many really great questions, conversations, topics coming up in the comments, and I'm seeing those. And I
Mhm.
think I would love to touch on some of those topics. I saw Ohio, so maybe we might touch on that topic in a bit.
Whatever you want. This is your show. I'm the
I
guest. You are the pilot of the ship. I'm just in the seat over here, and I'm ready to follow your lead.
I love it, Roderick. I'm so happy. This is the deal with Roderick. I'm also learning so much from you in the way that you lead and all of that. And I'm so excited. By the way, you're coming to Oklahoma
Yep.
in we're going to be planning that soon. We're going to be, you know, working in conjunction in certain different ways. I'm so excited to have you come here and show me your ways of structure and all of that. And I'm so happy to be, again, a friend of yours and connected with you here. So sharing even your information, your experience, your guidance. You know, this is somebody who has been in this field for a long time. Roderick, how long have you been working in the field of UFOs or in the field of, you know, conspiracy?
Well, I saw a UFO when I was 12 years old. That's where my story began here in Dallas, Texas, one evening. And I didn't realize the significance of that moment as the months and years roll by. And then all of a sudden, as a full grown adult, I'm able
Mhm.
to kind of look more into it. But I grew up in a Christian household. So my mom wasn't hearing it. But I used to see little magazines at the stores, the comic books or the titles, UFO stuff. And I used to just pick them up at the grocery store and be like, wow. And then as I got older, you start watching the movies, the TV shows, and, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, ET Phone Home, all of these ones that was pretty significant in the growth. But it wasn't until I became, independent. I'm a husband now, or I can do what I want. So it's like, okay, let me start looking into this UFO thing. And that's when I ran across MUFON, and I was just supporting him in the interim. So,
Mhm.
you can get a membership to get access to behind the scenes files. And then later on, I had the idea of becoming a UFO investigator. Now, that was inspired when I started looking into a lot of history of it. And I was like, wait a minute, there's not too much representation in my community because it was already a taboo subject. In fact, most people know if they heard my story that I was married and I couldn't even talk about UFOs in the house. And I
Mhm.
used to binge watch Ancient Aliens, and she hated it. But and at that time, it was a little wedge because I was like, baby, I'm interested in this. But now that I've done this and I've interviewed over 400 people, and I realized it was a cultural lens of religion that was causing her not to support what I was interested in and had nothing to do with her. So, that forgiveness is done, But, the good part about it is just recently I was on Ancient Aliens, and who would have thought about that? So, yeah.
But isn't that crazy to see
Yeah,
how
I
far
know.
right? I mean, I think about that. So many of us, even King Simon was talking about his understanding last week. He was on last Wednesday with me, and he was talking about within his relationship, his ex-wife, and how she didn't understand. I was married,
Mm,
same thing. He was okay, but he thought it was woo-woo crazy until he had
yep.
his own experience, and I shared that on Billy's podcast. And it's really interesting how I would like to say how all of us have come together on this network, and every one of us has had an experience when we were younger. And I too, while it was easy for me to say psychic medium or go into that, which when I say easy, it was really not easy. I was also raised in a Southern Baptist home, Christian home, and which I value and love. However, I couldn't quite deny those truthful experiences I was having, but the connection with the UFO or the alien experiences that I had was something I kept inside, because I knew that now that was something level or different. And those people were always seen as completely, wacko back in the day, right? And so it's really interesting that, of course, my work has also led me here. So, Roderick, first of all, congratulations on being on Ancient Aliens. That's a huge deal. That's a big deal.
It was. And it was a dream. Like I say, 3-4 years ago, I used to binge watch it. And I'll be like, Ancient Aliens, Ancient Aliens. And I'll never forget, this was probably about last year in October when we did the filming, that when I got my little check in the mail from Ancient Aliens, and so I did a screenshot. Okay, all right. And I did text her and say, "Hey, look, take a look." She did call crying. I'm sorry, I didn't know that you was that serious. And then I was like, "Really? You didn't?" I watched this stuff, but it wasn't about that. That was just me having a bad human experience. I should have topped it off with a lot of love and just say, "Hey, look at this," not as in look at this. So, but either way, I think when we get down to this phenomena, UFOs, aliens, psychic, ghost, all of the stuff that is hard, because see, I grew up, Cortney, where we could talk about ghosts, but we couldn't talk about UFOs.
Right.
I grew up where if somebody came and said, "Oh man, some noises we hear upstairs," and I'm gonna call those poltergeist people, come clear it out, and they come back to my, "Oh, it's your grandmother up there." I'm like, "What? My grandmother? Well, she got to go." Yeah, I know she cooks some macaroni and cheese. She got to go. But when we start talking about UFOs, aliens, outer worldly things, somehow it changes everybody's perspective, especially people that are highly into religion.
Yes.
And it's just that deity thing cannot, it just cannot connect to something else, and it's pretty difficult. And I get it, I understand it, and hopefully in time, as we get a little more transparent, people get a better understanding.
So do you believe that with the new information coming out, with the senator speaking about it, but yet not having a lot of information, they're being kept from a lot of the truthful knowledge, so much of that, many of us are, of course, they're only releasing what I would say they want us to believe. Do you believe that we're coming to a place where they're going to eventually evolve into allowing the truth to be known? I want to say no, but I'm curious your thoughts.
I want to say no.
Yeah.
So that no. But
first of all, everybody, he just beat himself, which I love. Thank you very much. Those are the things that Roderick is going to come to Oklahoma and help me facilitate my own self. So
I beat myself.
Yes.
But I think here's what I would explain to the audience. For number one, do we really want disclosure? Okay. And I'm gonna give you 2 examples here. The first one would be the big secret keepers are never going to tell us everything. So let's just say it was 10 doors with 10 secrets. Now, if we were to go at them and say, we know what's behind door number 1, door number 2, and we, the people, decide to pressure them, all of that, they just may reveal some of what's behind door number 1 and 2. But if we don't know anything about 3 through 10, they ain't telling nothing, because they don't have to. But then the question really, and this is for the audiences who are in there right now, and I've said it before, and the same thing with us, Cortney, when we go in March to, Boca Raton, you and I be down there.
Yeah.
What if we got off the plane and all of a sudden we was handed a sheet of paper and said, "Okay, Cortney and Roderick, because of disclosure, we just want you to know. Remember the turbulence that we felt up there, and we told you to put on your seatbelts? Oh, that was just some UFOs passed by and cut off the instrument panel. But we just wanted you to know because you wanted to know what disclosure is, and we like, really?
Mm.
You know, who wants to know that? Who wants to know you look down the street in your neighbor's yard two doors down, grass is high, and you mad because y'all got homeowners and homeowner association, and he hadn't cut it, and you get a notice on the door and say, oh, well, the Johnsons was missing because they got abducted. Because of disclosure, y'all wanted to know. We just told you. They're back, though. They're a little sore from all the probing, but they're back. You know, I don't think people want to know that. This is not what we really want to know. Look, Nicole down there saying she wants to know.
Yeah. Matt says I couldn't. He says I could handle it. I thought it was I couldn't handle it. He says I could handle it. So to me, when you say that, I think you're right. I think people, many people, I'm not saying that's for everybody, but many people don't want to get out of their safety net and out of that kind of womb of what they've known to be true, which is why they want to, we've got these iPhones, we're looking down, we're not really looking around. And the whole point of this network is to allow people to actually start viewing, observing, whether it's their own healing, their own stuff that needs to be looked at, or the world, the sky around them. And so it's pretty interesting whenever, I know in my life and my experiences that the things I thought 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when I read it, I understood it, I felt drawn to this story, this ancient alien something, this whatever. Most of those things have all fallen into place, as in it's no longer like so far out there. Okay. And so what's funny to me is like very often those who are speaking on topics like this and have knowledge, who are not just flying by the seat of their pants, they're doing their research, they're researching like you are, you're contacting people, you're listening to those stories, you're trying to find out what feels like truth to you. And what I know in my experiences as well is that later we actually do end up finding out that we were pretty typically on point with those things that we thought were true. Now, it might take 10, 20 years for those uncoverings to happen out in the open, but I think that they do eventually fall into place.
Yeah, I think what we're going to be dealing with is once again, it's going to be how people interpret or are able to cope with the change, because there's a lot of people out there that's not going to be able to transition from things that they thought was not true.
Right.
And then they end up finding out later on that it is true, and vice versa with things that people think were true. And can they deal with the truth of finding out if they're not true? And that's why we just developed the brand Truth Seekers, or our culture of truth seekers when we do Why the Big Secret. Because, I always do. I say your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. It's time to think why. Because long as we follow the narratives that we see out there, that's mainly where most people land. But I try to get people, and same thing with Billy, yourself, everybody who's enlightening people to go beyond that narrative. Just don't, think why, because why is always important. And it's not about what's happening, how it's happening, but nothing is important as why it's happening. And today we got some things that needs to be answered.
Wow, I love that. And I think having maybe even that constant question, that constant why, even though the answers of those questions might pivot and change in time, or they might not be there in that moment, but that quest for the knowledge tells me that we will eventually get there.
Absolutely.
And so thank you for that. I so appreciate even the way that you bring that up. I mean, having somebody to sit there and ask those tough questions, and also be okay with, there being maybe not even one definitive answer. I think that is something that's really cool too. It also, to me, when I hear you share information like that, you're giving somebody else options to choose what they feel is correct for them too. You're saying that you just present the energy, present the information, and somebody else can then dictate, what it is, or make their own mind up on what they believe to be true.
Yeah, because when I first started out here within the family of Forbidden Knowledge, I remember my first show. And there was a few people that beat me up a little quickly. Well, you got to do this, you got to, and they now they realize what I do. Because my job is to give people enough information that they can read, enough information that they can see, hear, or determine
Mm.
to only awaken the possibility that we're not alone in the universe. Because I want them to go the rest of the way themselves. But now, since we have initiated Project Black, which is a new program that we're going to be doing nationally, which is stands for the Black League of Alien Contact Knowledge.
Mm.
And it's not about exclusion of anybody that's not African American or indigenous. It's really what we've discovered now over all this time, all of the research. Let's give Granzino a thank you for the super sticker. And if anyone else want to find value in what she's doing tonight, y'all make sure y'all let her know, especially if you from Wild Big Secret community. Y'all, you know how we do it. So definitely let's
Well,
support her tonight. There we go.
it supports the Forbidden Knowledge family, I will tell you that. And
Mhm.
first of all, I want to break for a moment. We've got so many of you on here tonight. I so appreciate you guys being here. If you can do myself a favor, Roderick a favor, the Forbidden Knowledge family a favor, if you're loving this podcast, if you're loving the content, if you could subscribe, if you could like this podcast, if you could forward it and share it with your buddies, and then also follow, us on all of the different things. But I want to say that, Roderick, of course, is here showing up every week, just like I am here on the beautiful Forbidden Knowledge Network. And we're so fortunate to be here. We know that. We're so grateful. But if you could also follow us on our own personal YouTube channels, that would be so amazing too. It gives back to us in other ways. And as we're building this community here, we're doing that over there as well. And so, Roderick, can you share your personal YouTube page with us?
Well, basically, it is Wild Big Secret, Roderick Martin, Wild Big Secret. Definitely, you all could, go over and like or subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that's it. And today, if any of you have not subscribed to her channel, this is the partnership, the friendship, the family, all in one of what we're doing here, and definitely supporting all of us on different mediums will help 100%. And actually, my like pillow is over there, and I should have brought it because I have a big pillow. It's light, and that's when I show it to him. Come on, hit the like button. Yeah, it's a big one. It's over there in the chair. We moved the studio around, but one of the things that I was gonna say earlier, Courtney, is that what I was alluding to with Project Black is that what we found through ufology and all of this stuff is that there are reportings that is or in the community of African American and indigenous community is disproportionately from representation and when we get down to UFO reports. And so also if we could as a collective begin to try to focus and find those stories, it's going to help the whole community all together. But what I really think is going to happen is just going to enlighten people because my goal is to start the conversation. We bring them into what we call a vortex. Then we bring them all over to forbidden knowledge and let Billy and them give the higher things. And then as they're getting into consciousness, they meet people like yourself and just really start understanding all of the stuff. And because it's all connected. It's
Yeah.
all freaking connected. And I think a lot of people are beginning to understand that. But if we can get that first barrier, which is where I stand, is get them past the religious side because I'm finding out a lot of young people are religiously and emotionally bankrupt. And the reason for that is it didn't work for the parents. It's not working for them, but they do feel that there's something higher. There is something bigger. This is where the spirituality is starting to step in. And when I say it didn't work, it's just some of the teachings that they were teaching us. It just didn't apply to what we're dealing with today.
It didn't bring us into our power. I
Mhm.
literally had a painting. So in my sessions, and we can do that on our own. We don't, by the
Mhm.
way, I do what I do. Roderick, you do what you do. But, we all have that connectedness to source, divine light, God. Holy Spirit, whatever your faith base is, I believe that all of the highest, beautiful doors of consciousness and light lead to the same space. And I think that we get so congested and so divided, and what in the world the semantics of that really is. And I had a client today, I'm just gonna, his initial was a D, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a fellow Forbidden Knowledge community, family member here. And this was his painting, and the information was he was coming back into his truth, which is the yellow consciousness. He was here on path, but really needing to remember, and he was already doing this. It was very exciting, but that light was there within him, and he was stepping into his power. And I believe, I know for me within the church, and I loved, a lot of, those experiences that I had. And there were some that felt more maybe condemning, or, was afraid to go to hell or whatever. But so much of that experience was positive, but there was something inside me that I knew that there was a connected light of good within me, and that connection. And I believe that that's the part that has been without not all of those teachings, but some of those teachings, is that we're taught to look at it from outside of ourselves rather than ignite it from within. And from what I'm seeing with clients or from people coming to me, is that that's what they're needing to be reminded of, is that we're human beings here on the planet. And so you've already got your connectedness. We've just got to ignite it and be reminded of it. And so even this situation, let's call it a situation, I don't know what you want to call it, with them, almost, I want to say, trying to throw us off pace with this, I don't want to say facade, but, with the fear mongering that's going on. It is sometimes, I believe, there to take us away from our power, to get us into that fear mongering and looking to feel like we might need their help to protect us, or all of that. Do you find that that's the same thing? Do you feel like that's part of that power shift, Roderick?
I would say I could go along with that, yes. But that particular incident, I think there was a different challenge that we saw over this last few weeks or week. And basically, for one, when that Chinese balloon flew over, and we allow it, or should I say, we watched it watch us.
Mm-hmm.
What you saw was a division between the politics, the military complex, and all of these things, because the military people were ticked off to the highest of ticktivity, if it's a word, because, why would we let this thing fly over our nuclear weapons and everything else? All right. So the story was, okay, we don't want to shoot it down because of the debris, or however reason that they wanted to pick it. Well, right after that, it was this thing was all over the news of, can we control our airspace? That is why the third, fourth stuff started popping up, and it was from internal, because they needed to let the American people know, we will control our airspace. Because that was most people thinking, oh, China, things can fly. We cannot control our airspace.
They're seeing us as weak.
Mm-hmm. Seeing us as weak in a whole 9 yards. And so they was like, okay, this is why when you saw some of the press conferences the next day, or when the second objects and third objects, they started asking, some of the press people was on to it, where is it from? Is it here? Who owns it? And why these things are popping up, and what's really happening. And so that there led them to say, we need to get the confidence of the public back. And because they wasn't UFOs. I mean, I tell people all the time, those things will not be no sitting ducks. We do not have the technology to sit here. These things got, they can go transmedium from space, air, and water. They can go from instantaneous acceleration. They outrun, sound 10 times over. They have all kind of tech. They're not going to sit here and let us shoot. Just sit there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was not, and we know that, and so it was just one of those things. So, but it did its job. It's quiet now. We now can say, because even China themselves, a few days, Cortney started saying, oh, we get ready to shoot down one. Oh, because they wanted people to know, no, it didn't come from over here. So it was our own in-house stuff.
Well, and to me, you said something that just caught me, and now I'm like wondering. You said, well, they needed to gain the confidence of the people, and then as soon as you said it, I thought, but did they? I mean, maybe for some, but it felt a little. It's to me manipulative, but
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You got a dog? You have a dog?
I do.
Okay, so if your dog, what kind of dog is it? What's his name?
She is an 7 or 8 month golden retriever. She's the
Okay,
cutest.
so that could be a big dog. And what's the dog's name?
Kermie, like Kermit the Frog, but Kermie.
Okay, here's Kermie. So Kermie goes over to the neighbor's yard and knock down their trash and throw trash all over their yard. The neighbors are livid. And then what are you going to do?
Go over there and pick up the trash. Go apologize.
Okay, stop right there. So you're going to go over there and pick up the trash. This is why when that other one went over to Canadian airspace, we shot it down. They didn't shoot it down. We were like, okay, guys, it's our problem. We'll take care of it. That's why we went over there and shot it down. They could have shot it down. But same instance that you said, wait a minute, it was my dog knocked over your trash. I'll go clean it up. It was our object that went into their airspace. We sent our jets and shot it down over their airspace. Don't y'all use y'all $1 million missiles. We got this. We'll take it.
We'll use ours. Yeah, exactly.
We'll use ours.
We're in enough debt, but let's do it. Let's go even further. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I have another question. Maybe two-part. Well, no, two-part question. Sure. Do you believe that this is to dangle the carrot over here, so we're not quite looking over here? So maybe call it a cover-up or whatever, so that we're being blinded by this experience or this information, so that we're not looking, whether it be, dare I say, the Epstein files or the Ohio incident, which I'm interested in going there. And so what do you think about that?
I think that for starters, there's nothing bigger than this UFO extraterrestrial technology type secrets. There's not, so they're not going to do no bait and switch. They don't have to, because everybody's engaged, especially those big secret keepers, of keeping the secret. I think once again, there's a lot of powers that be that comes down to the technology, hiding the tech, all of the reasons why there's big secrets when it comes down to UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrials, because this is bigger. And let me give you an example. We could have the Epstein files. That's news.
Yeah.
But we're talking about an alien set down. That's global breakdown. You get what I'm saying? Religion, all of this stuff. This is huge. And they know how big the implications are. And there's nothing on the planet, no bigger secrets or nothing that they're willing to protect, something that will break down society, people as they know it, our financial institutions, everything. The Epstein stuff will never do that. None of those conspiracies, secret societies will break down society such as this big secret. So that's how big it is. Yeah. It got you pausing there. It's big.
I
it's big.
know.
Big.
I had to stop and take a breath with that one with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I mean, there's so many different multi-layered things happening right now, where it almost feels, I know that the people, that we all feel like there's a little bit of like whiplash. And so even I will say, if we're looking from the spiritual realm, really coming back to that space of connection and being able to right now well, you're doing it. You're taking really good care of your health. You're working with Maria. You're doing all of those things. And in that process of, putting yourself as the priority, I think that's something right now too, with all of this happening, we can't forget to really take it back to us and what it is that we need personally. So we can't really get lost in the fear and things like that. Or
I just got a message from our show producer. She says, I'm not going to call you out in the chat, but I'm calling her out. You know you are wrong for not telling me y'all were live already. Now, I just said it in the beginning of before you and I went on, how she was so much keeping up with time schedules and all of that, that now she missed the time.
Let me tell you, he was bragging before we jumped on live. My assistant Pamela is amazing. I love her. Almost cannot do anything without her. And Roderick was saying the same thing about you. So we appreciate you. He was sure bragging on you before he came live, weren't you, Roderick?
I sure did. So I just knew she was already watching, but she was like, I didn't tell her. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna start over, so she can make sure she was in it from the beginning. We'll just start the whole show over. My name is Roderick. Thank you for having me here, Cortney. And because she's just that type of person that I will start a whole show over for. So,
I love
there
it.
we go.
Well, she's the boss. That ends up ends up being what happens is Pamela, I think she thinks she's my boss, but she ends up being the person that structures my, artistic and all of my things. And it sounds like she's doing the same for you. Listen, we need people like that in our life, don't we?
Absolutely. She's going to be here tomorrow. There she is. She says she was packing for the road trip to come see me tomorrow. So her and her husband will be here in Dallas. So we're going to try to do a side-by-side studio, or now that the studio's rearranged, we got 3 different areas that we can shoot. So we're going to be doing that. But it's exciting.
Well, no, that is exciting. And I think the cool thing, and I want to share this real quick, because Roderick, listen, here occasionally you and I jump on the phone together and we chit chat and we share all the things that we're excited about and what's coming up within the podcast, or what we're doing. And you are growing, and I think that for the community, the Forbidden Knowledge community, your community, and everybody else that's coming in from wherever else you guys are coming in from, we love and appreciate you guys so much. What I love about you, Roderick, is you are like me. You say, I love you guys. I mean, I say that almost at the end of it because it's authentic. I say it to my clients. That is what we're here to do, is share that connection with everybody. But to be here now and get to see the growth of your podcast, Roderick, and get to see how maybe, the rooms will change and whatever, we're going through the same thing. And I'm so excited. It'll probably happen in the course of the next couple months. And I'm so stoked to be able to bring it in that way, because we're feeling really connected with you all too. And so we get excited about sharing this time. And I know, Roderick, you're so great about talking about how, we choose to be here too. We choose to share the information, the light. And so while these podcasts, you're not necessarily, it's a job, it's a career, it's a passion, but it doesn't always come through like a 9 to 5. And so the support means everything.
I think that, and let me say it, and I'm gonna look into the camera so they can feel my emotions and face. It probably requires a little theme music, the whole 9 yards. Let me find something.
I love it.
So they can hear them and make sure it's real low though. There you go. Can y'all hear it? It's real low.
Nope, can't hear it.
Oh, what about there? You good? All right, Lonnie, am I on time? But here's the deal. We work really hard, Cortney and I, when it comes down to producing content. And if you've watched any of my shows, I tell you all the time, if you find value in what we do, then support us. Because a lot of people often don't know, if I had to have a job, if I was married, because I am responsible and the man of that house, and if I had to work between 3 and 11 to support the family, there will be no live streams. There just wouldn't. Gratefully, now that I'm rebuilding my life, but I have an opportunity, and same thing with Cortney, this is what we do. But we try to study, we try to become better for you, for our audience, and for that, it is the support. Now, it's not church. We're not saying, hey, pay some tithes to us, right? Or anybody. The whole point is that your appreciation and everything else is what we do. And it took a moment, Cortney, for me not to look like I was begging, because I would tell people, support the show. And then finally, I just got the confidence to say, hey, listen, if you find value, bring it, and all of a sudden, as the audience grew, more people start to give, whether it's $3, $1, $11.11, it was all these different things. And ultimately now I get enough contributions that I do this full time.
Wow.
So now that I also make sure I tell the audience, I love you. And I know I do. And then I also tell my haters, and I tell my haters this all the time: if you can hate me without knowing me, then I can love you without never meeting you. So we can be even with that. And there you go. We got another support. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's so
1999.
cool. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. And so that's how we do it, because we work at this. And like I said, it's something. And wait a minute, let me make sure you guys give Miss Barbie, Big Black Barbie, a shout out in the chat, super chat in 1999. And we appreciate it, or the channel appreciate it, Cortney appreciate it. It's showing value. And so thank you from there. But yeah, so again, that's what it's all about. And all I ask from our audience, and the same thing you would ask, just help us until YouTube pays me.
Right.
Help me until YouTube. YouTube is paying me. They pay me a few $100, but once the channel gets 100,000 and 200,000, YouTube will pay me, and I got you then. If you call me and you need something for your light bill, we'll try to help you out. But in the meantime, we got to keep the lights on. And that's it. We got 600 and some people in here tonight. So that's really good. And welcome pretty much. And if, it's all about what we do, Cortney. And first of all, thank you. I know you personally. I know the work that you put in it. I know it's a lot of energy and emotion in what you do and how you've been doing it. I know that we have conversations that you want to get more things for your audience. You want to provide them more value, and we talk about that. And there's not a lot of people that's not dedicated to want to give the audience more, and there's not a lot of people out there that's doing that. And so that's one of the important things from there. So.
Thank you. We're definitely investing. I'm super excited. And again, just like we're going to get to watch you grow in that way, it's going to be the same here with the quality, with the microphones, with all of that stuff. And so I can't wait for that ride to continue. And so you guys are a part of that, and we love bringing you on the journey. And so thank you so much. By the way, we had no plan on talking about any of that. And that's so cool, as it is so authentic. Noni, thank you. That means the world. So thank you so much for that. What's really interesting to me is I want to say real quick is that in my sessions in Beautiful Mindset, thank you. That session, it was with this, I'm going to call him D today. What's cool is that I can always tell when it is from a forbidden knowledge, I want to say family member, right? When they connect, whenever they come on either the Zoom or in-person session, and you guys are in such a high vibrational frequency and quest for knowledge, quest for more, that the different layers of information that comes through in your sessions is so I want to say high frequency. And so you guys keep doing the work, keep watching the shows, keep watching whatever it is fueling your soul, keep asking those questions. It is, I'm telling you, making such huge strides and differences in your energy in your life, and mine too, by the way, because you guys coming and supporting, it lets Roderick do what he loves. It lets me do what I love too. So again, thank you. I got
questions for you. I got questions for you.
Yeah, ask me.
Okay, here we go. So, could there be any connections between? Oh no, I had another connection.
Ask me all.
Question. I have a real good question. All right, and actually, it's been on my mind. If we are supposed to be reincarnated souls, we come back.
Yes.
So how are you? Sometimes because Lonnie was talking about how you actually helped her and was communicated with her deceased. I think it was somebody, she said.
Really? Okay, cool.
So was he not reincarnated where he was still there? You get what I'm saying? So how are we able to talk to somebody that's
could possibly be coming back?
Yes.
I think that, well, this is what I always say. I always say, who the hell knows until we're on the other side? And one of my other quote is, the more we know nothing. So I can tell you how it feels to me.
Okay.
How it feels to me is that time, we try to make sense of time here.
Mm-hmm.
And time is not the same. Call it in heaven, the ethers, that dimension, a craft, whatever your mindset is of that next realm. And so while we're sitting here thinking, well, it's 100 years for a lifetime, I think that it takes time for that soul
I was
to
going to say he could be on the waiting list, like in line, waiting to go. Okay.
well,
Go ahead.
how it feels to me is that once we pass, we are given, in religion, it's maybe judgment day, or you're being like, oh gosh,
Okay. All right. All right.
and I don't feel like it's like that. How it feels to me is that we're able to look down at our experiences, our lessons, our life, and be like, oh, and see it and watch it almost as if it's a movie. So we get to almost experience it, but with almost that godlike knowing, that full awareness of light, and we, without judgment, without what it would, just feeling the true story. It's like watching a beautiful movie, and understanding the hardships because the person moves through the lesson or they don't. So what I believe is that we do come back until we rise in that consciousness and we understand. So we come into that stream and light, here on earth. And so when we are ready to view our hurts, our pains, fully heal and grieve, most people wait to do any of that and have any self-awareness until they've passed on the other side. And when we're all here, we're all asking why, we're all asking the questions, we're wanting to talk about this world and see it through what feels like truth to us, and we're trying to learn what feels like truth to us. I see lots of people talking about ayahuasca, DMT, all of those things. We can have many different paths to a higher frequency of consciousness, but we can also understand, I have to take a breath as I say it, that it is all within us, and us awakening to that is our purpose on earth. And that to me is, I see it as a color, as light, as golden vibration, as higher frequency. And we as humans are trying to put semantics, we're trying to put words, we're trying to put verbiage to something that is really almost impossible to do. And so what happens is, I always say I feel so much that I feel in color, hence painting. And, every client that I have, I paint. This is one of the boards I paint on. I mean, and so it just helps me process the big energy, if that makes sense. So yeah, does that answer your question? And listen, I mean, who knows? I might get to the other side and they'll be like, nope, that was it. That was not it, Cortney. But I can tell you that that's how it feels for me.
Okay. Well, no, it was just a question, and and then also we'll get back on the UFO stuff as well. But I always thought, if you think about aliens, extraterrestrials could be in the different dimensions, walk through walls and everything else, and then you got ghost and paranormal could do the same thing. Is there some type of connection there?
Yes. Well, I worked in the world of paranormal for years.
That's why I asked that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and worked with, I had a book that was published, I thought, right here, actually. It's called Within the Power of Universal Mind. I wrote it with my old business partner, Rochelle Sparrow, and there's lots of cool paintings, and they're perforated edges, and so they're almost like a deck of universal laws, and again, paintings and information. But during this time, we were, traveling the country, doing paranormal work and conventions and expos and things like that, speaking with the ghost hunters. We were managed by the ghost hunters, management and all of that stuff, but we had a great time. However, through all of that, I realized that I wanted to raise my frequency so that, very often in that paranormal field, you're going to find what you're typically looking for. Okay. Gotcha. And I have a 25-year-old. She was young at the time, and I just didn't want to bring that home. And I realized through my own healing that I had a choice with the energy that I would connect to. And so I really shifted. I still value that work. It led me to what I'm doing today. I value the lessons. I value that connection. Gotcha. However, when you hear me connect, I call on, I have a prayer of connection or a mantra of connection that helps raise my frequency to what I would consider a higher connection. So interesting.
Well, have you ever? I better not go there. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, let's talk about UFOs.
Okay. We'll go there again.
We could go there, but and maybe the audience want me to go there, but I would go there. All right. So I'm going to go there.
Go there.
All right. So, and your husband's name is Matt, right? Now, what is his name? Your husband's name?
Ethan. And we're not husband yet, but that's where we're going.
That's okay. We're going to call it in the universe. You guys are partners, yes. Life partners.
Yes. And he's here with us tonight. Yes.
Okay. So I was talking to Marie. Marie is a ghost hunter as well. And since you have the ability, could you all be, let's just say one evening, y'all chilling, glass of wine, and you're sitting there and you just, and it could be an intimate moment between the two of you. And then all of a sudden you look at him and you say, somebody's trying to talk to me.
No. Yeah. Actually, this is
you get what I'm saying? It's like, how would, because I'm a little, my hypocrisy is I don't know how far to go, but I didn't know if I want to date or marry, someone says, well, we're in the bed, they're watching us. You're like, who's watching us? Them. Who? How do you, how did he deal with it? That would be a question.
So, first of all, let me just say that you actually, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you asked. You literally just segue into, we are having an impromptu Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane side show on Sunday night. Matt Hoodwink, my friend, it was inspired by a question he asked. So Ethan's going to join me on Sunday live.
We want Ethan's perspective of living with a psychic. It's like he come home or you come home with dinner and say, here's your favorite. He goes, no, that's not what I was thinking, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With food, he would be like, no, you're not. No. But however, we have a very, we'll talk about it on Sunday. If you want to hear all about it on Sunday.
Okay, y'all heard it. We're all going to come back. Yeah. And we're going to be on that one.
Oh, there he is. Everybody, that's Ethan right now with the LOL and the fire. That's Mr. Brinkley right there. So Ethan's going to join me on Sunday night, and we are going to talk about all of that. But I want to answer your question real quick. Your question, let's be clear about it. You were like, well, what if y'all are doing the thing and you're having, if you're noticing something? Nope. I've got my bubble of protection up.
Okay.
And so I have learned to make parameters. And now I will tell you that it has been through a lifetime of not having parameters of connection. And it was through working in the world of paranormal. It was through working through all of that I really learned that I can, for the most part, set beautiful boundaries around. Okay. And so I have a lot of opinions about that. And I don't believe that everybody who is just wide open all the time, I think that's great for them. But for me, I like balance. I believe that balance is also another reason why I'm here on this channel. I am a skeptic. I like proof. I like fact. I like data. I like to measure stuff. And most people, I will tell you, and Roderick, you've seen it in the comments sometimes where they're like, who's this lady? What in the world? And that, listen, from first glance on Psychic Cortney Kane side, sure, you might get some of that. However, if you truly know me, you actually know there's a lot of groundedness there. And so in terms of relationship, I'm open when I need to be. Now, if something's supposed to come through, then sure, it could come through. But
are you saying why y'all in the moment and you say, Ethan, your grandmother said you're doing an awesome job?
So we're going to talk about that. And that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And you will listen on Sunday night about it. But and I don't know that he's happy about it or that he likes it either, but we're going to get his raw truth and opinion. And actually, next time you're going to come visit us, you're going to come stay with us. We'll have a room ready for you, my friend. I'll make dinner for you. But I think it would be fun for you to actually ask some of those questions for us too. I think that could be really cool.
I will definitely do it.
We're gonna,
I got a lot. So,
yeah.
all right. Sorry, Ethan, putting you on the spot, but it's a man thing. You know, we all in this together. So,
well, listen, the people want to know, and I don't. We're open. We're for the most part an open book. Okay, there are some boundaries, but yes.
well, let me tell you, Billy Elizabeth, when you talk about an open encyclopedia, that well, they be telling it. I be sitting there laughing like, "Go, boy, go, go, y'all go." So,
I love it. She's
all right. So you can hit me with some UFO stuff, whatever you want, but it's your
okay.
show. It's your
Well,
show. I just had an inquiring mind.
I love it. And Matt says now you got Roderick thinking about that dinner. Yep, that's right.
I know, right?
We'll
Long as
make
you like Lonnie invited me to their house, but I have so many excuses because they vegans,
oh okay.
and
And I
I
say
have to go in there and have to pretend that I eat vegetables and all that stuff because for a cow to get by my house, they have to dress up like a vegetable. So it's a big difference.
well, I will definitely make you vegetables, and maybe we'll make Ethan make you steak. So we'll make sure it's a well-rounded meal for sure. Okay, so I don't really have any other questions about UFOs. I actually want to know your thoughts. Can we bring up the Ohio situation? Your thoughts, your feelings about that. Have we talked about it? Have you talked about it on your
You
podcast?
talking about the chemical thing that's
Yeah,
going on? The
the
crash?
trains, all of it.
It's like out of a movie,
Well, it actually is out of a movie. Did you see that movie on Netflix? White Noise?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
And I think what we have to think about is Robert Salas. He is the Minuteman from the Maelstrom Air Force Base, where the UFOs turned off our nuclear weapons. And one thing that he told me, which has shaped Why the Big Secret, he says, Roderick, it's time for us to trust the witnesses. And that's what I started. That's why my show now focus on not only I focus on what's in the sky, but what's on the ground, what's happening to people on the ground. The same incident here, I was listening to CNN and there was numerous report of air not smelling right. There's numerous reports of the water. But on the other hand, the government or whoever the big secret keepers, I'm gonna still keep them in that category, is reporting, and they try to say things like, oh, it's not no, levels that will hurt you. So they're not saying, oh yeah, these people are right. There is some smell, there is some stuff in the water, but no, there's just not reporting fatal. Well, yeah, today, but I'm drinking and smelling this every day for a year now.
For the rest of
How long it's going to be, right? So
yeah.
over time, it's going to be accumulation of whatever. And so in this case, we got to trust what the people are saying on the ground, how they're feeling, what is making them feel like, and we cannot allow what we hear in those narratives that we hear in the news. Oh, it's okay, but we ain't seen. Now, this was a disaster,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
You did not see, POTUS down there standing his elderly butt down there saying it's okay. Oh, the air is clear. He's not doing that because his advisor said, no, don't go there. And that's your warning because they go to every disaster. If it was a flood, he would have been there. If it was something else, he would have been there. And I'm not talking politics because I don't do politics, but I'm just saying the reality that those people are not there breathing the air, tipping the water, like, the Aaron Barkrichard story, like, oh, we brought that water right in here for y'all, and they put it down. Yeah. And so, it's just one of those things. And so that lets you know that this is bigger. And the same thing with Flint, Michigan, all of these stuff. And we got to be careful with how they protect whatever's bigger, because at this point now, we're talking wind, we're talking whatever's in that air is in this air.
New York City, all up around, going up.
Yes. So it's no different than they told us that this spy balloon was following the wind currents.
Yeah.
Remember, that's how it was moving around. How come this ain't following the wind currents? And oh my God, I'm coughing in Dallas now. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bella, I keep seeing your comment, and I could not agree with you more. She keeps saying that they're wanting to, start to move into the 15-minute cities. I mean, so many years ago, and I mean, this is a whole nother show, Roderick, and we should do this again some other time. But I remember when I read the book Agenda 21, and
Mhm.
for I feel like 20 years, I don't even know how long that book's been out, but maybe 18, maybe 15 years, I was like, you got to read this, you got to read this, you got to read this to my family. And they're like, and I saw somebody say, I'm the crazy one in the family. Me
Mm.
too. Me too. I imagine all of us here on Forbidden Knowledge Network have that beautiful thing in common that our family,
Right.
whatever. But we tend to be, like I said, the ones on target, on correct. And so all of that Agenda 21 stuff has come to pass. It's come, now they're saying Agenda 23, Agenda 2030, all the things. And so I agree, once they step into that realm of, talking about the land being polluted, and, the government or whomever can take
Yeah.
the land away once things are polluted and toxic, and it's not safe for us to live there, then they can move us over to, whatever. And I do believe that that is definitely what is on
Mm.
target with that area. And how many train derailments or how many train explosions or other things are happening all over. Not to be in fear, coming back to that bubble of light, grounding our energies, and us
Absolutely.
focused in what we know to be true. And it is that we can see that and not get caught up in the fear of it too.
Yeah, and it's not about, again, we're not spreading fear. I think,
No.
we're just giving people a possibility to think why, and that's how I do it. Is just throw some stuff out there, and they can look at it each way. I think it's pretty much. And so, how do people reach you to do, have you to do services with them?
I mean, what a beautiful question. Thank you, my friend, for asking. I'm like, do I have it on here? I think I do. And you actually put them, I think, on here for me. Let me see if I have it. Let me see if I click the right thing. That's what you're going to help me with, my friend. No, I don't even see it, but it's at CourtneyKaneSides.com. And actually, here's the one for my VIP Inner Circle, which is a beautiful membership, by the way. And so you can see the website right there, CourtneyKaneSides.com. And you can see everything from events to, the VIP Inner Circle, which is 11/11 every month. And you get an hour and a half twice a month with me and the community that we've built there. It's been almost 2 years that I've been building that sweet group from people all across the world. And I absolutely love that and have been having so much fun with it. It's just it's a confined space where we Zoom with each other again for an hour and a half twice a month. And you do tend to get just more information. I mean, I'm in tears, they're in tears, we're connecting and talking about all the things, which is cool. But on that website, you can book your private sessions, groups, Zooms, whatever. I do have something coming up, which I'm so excited about, but I used to do this a lot before COVID, and big groups, big galleries. And so I've got one coming up in April, and I'm so excited. And the tickets will be $35, $40 or something like that. And I'm super excited. You should come down, Roderick, for that.
So, are you going to the Forbidden Conscious Awards?
Yes, I'll be there in July.
Okay. Have anybody nominated you yet?
I hope so. Everybody watching tonight, please nominate me.
Yeah. I mean, y'all need to, let me see something here. Hang on.
Nominate your girl.
Yeah, let me see. I don't want to do this. Oh, let me change that. Hang on. I'm gonna change that to this. Let's do that. Only before we could do this right now. So here we go.
Hey everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023. The Forbidden Conscious Awards, the first annual event of its type. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. And guess what? It's time to give them their flowers while they're still alive. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person for this amazing level event. It's going to be above the Oscars, above the Grammys. And guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com. And the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. And you want to be there in person because I'm going to be speaking. That's right, I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you want to come to a mini conference, this is the place to be because I'm going to give you the knowledge that night, as well as performances. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. And you help vote by going to forbiddenknowledge.com, go to the Conscious Awards link. You can text in a vote for who you want for any category, as well as if you're out of the country, you can use the web form ballot to still vote for anyone you think is worthy of being honored that night. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
All right, so there you are. Y'all make sure y'all vote for Cortney. Now, what category would you be in? The wellness or?
Probably the wellness, I'm thinking. So it would be like, I call myself psychic medium, spiritual advisor, raiser of frequency, whatever you want to call it. But I think it would be in the wellness category.
All right, so y'all got it. Y'all go in there. Y'all nominate Cortney. I already been nominated. You can go to there. There's a link there. It'll take you there so you can vote for. You can vote. Actually, you could easily vote for both of us. Go to vote for Roderick. Vote FOR Roderick.com. It'll take you to the same form. You can vote once for me, and then you can vote again for Cortney. And I'm in the podcast section. She'll be in the other section. Nominate her. So y'all do that today, right now. Peace. Or when we get off of here, go to voteforroderick.com, but then vote for both of us because it's the same form. I just make it easy. So there you go.
I love it. I see Matt already got his ticket, so that is awesome. So excited he's got VIP tickets, so he's going to get to meet us both, Roderick. So that is so much fun. We were both at the movie premiere too, so that was really fun in Detroit.
That was really good, and I'm in the podcast category. I'll be in a podcast category, and she'll be in the spiritual wellness one that they have. So two different categories that answer the question for you, Soulful Essence. Thank you for the question.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Roderick, how do people find you? So how can we support you? How can we support your mission? How can we support your podcast? How can we support the growth of why?
How do we do that when we both, we know each other? We know the drill. They both know we're here. We're both here, on the same channel and network. So why don't we just tell people? I don't know. They can. How we could go back and forth. How do they find you, Cortney or Roderick? How they find you? Y'all can find us on Forbidden Knowledge TV. Okay, we're part of the family. Y'all can support us like you're doing it now, being here, but definitely vote for us. You can support us on both of our socials.
Yes.
So we're family.
Listen, we're going to be
Cortney, my big hug. There you go.
I know, I love you. We and by the way, Matt just said, are you having the after party show tonight? We are going to have the after party show. This idea, by the way, came from my buddy Roderick. We are going to move over to my personal YouTube page, Cortney Kane Sides, and it's Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides. So go right over there and subscribe. It would mean the world. That sweet little page is at 400 and something right now. If we could knock it into 1,000, I would just be elated.
Yes, 1,000 is the milestone, so that YouTube said, we may partner with you. 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours, but still need 1,000 subscribers. And they'll definitely support you because they supported me with thousands of people, and I think it's just pretty much. And that's what we do it so we can build both networks. So for most of Cortney and I, we have our own YouTube channel outside of Forbidden Knowledge Network, in that we do additional content. So I'm here on Tuesday night, she's here on Wednesday night. But if you want a lot more of Cortney, go to her YouTube and you can get more there, but make sure you subscribe and share And the same thing for me,
Yeah.
Roderick at Why the Big Secret. So we're done.
Well, and all of your links, Roderick, are down in the description here tonight. So I so appreciate Soulful. What does Soulful say? Right, voting for both of you and going to the individual channel too. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Roderick, I love you.
Same here. Same here.
You, and I will see you March 9th, and we will get to record, and we will get.
Are you coming up there on the 9th? I'll be there on the 8th. So you coming on the 9th? Okay.
I'm coming on the 9th, so I will see you. You will go ahead and get that place good and
well,
ready.
I'm hoping they're going to do something. I've not been begging, but I've been, putting it out there, that they do something for my birthday while I'm there on the 10th. And I think they will anyway, but I definitely been putting it out there. So you can whisper and say, y'all know Roderick's birthday is on the 10th, which they already should know, but they should know.
Well, listen, you just dropped a hint to your sister, and so maybe we can figure something out. See, we'll make it special.
Now, I told him that I wanted some lobster and the crab legs, because Billy do that Jurassic Park stuff, spare no expense, So I was like, we want some lobster, crab legs. And then he says, well, we got to talk to my sister first. And I was like, yeah, because I'll be up there doing the weight loss TV show. And, but, maybe that could be the last of the type of meals like that. That's
right. Like your last supper with your family.
To figure it out, right? They can figure it out. I don't have to have all the legs on the crab. Maybe one leg or two.
I'll eat the rest of the legs. You can have one, and you can have all.
I definitely want all the tail I can get from the lobsters. Everyone.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's right. That's right. We got to keep you in check for sure. Yeah. Well, Roderick, thank you, my friend. I'm so happy and so grateful that you were here tonight. I know everybody loved it, guys. Again, if you love the podcast, please hit that like button. Please share it with your buddy, share it on social media. It means the world to us. It helps us grow, helps us continue to keep showing up, doing this work. It inspires us to keep giving you more and more and more. And we appreciate you.
All right. We'll appreciate it. And we'll be live streaming. Lonnie and I will be in our production Friday night. So y'all can come and hook up with us. All right, Courtney. Much love to you.
All right.
And
come
Ethan,
see me on my
tell Ethan I'm coming, and we'll have that talk later.
Okay. Guys, come jump on my private page. I'll see you there.